Hi there, welcome back to the garage. Can you remember a few months ago, if you watched the channel, I did a review on the Sealey 2.25 Rocket Trolley Jack, low entry, beautiful bit of kit, and I'm really impressed with it. It's been amazing. But there's a company who reckon that their jack in this box can do a similar job for a better price. Now for me, I've seen this on Amazon and it looks almost identical to the Sealey jack. I'm even wondering if it's made in the same place. But it's here in the box. Let's get it out and let's put them side by side and see what the difference is. I'll pop links in the description for this jack. It comes straight off of their website. You can buy it off of Amazon as well, but I'll put a discount code in for it if you're interested. It's heavy. Oh, here comes out. Okay, so Vevor. Instructions here. I've got a bit of information on there. Yeah, that's all good. We'll follow that in a minute. Let's have a look. This looks very familiar. It looks extremely familiar. Now, the rating on this one is 2.5 tons, so it's slightly higher than the Sealey one. Now, is it just me or does this look very, very similar? It's incredibly similar, isn't it? God, they are close. There is very, very little difference in these. Get a little spanner to put the jack handle in. Okay, two jacks side by side for a little comparison. That's exactly the same. They are absolutely identical in every way on that. So there was a couple of subtle differences I can notice. On the front here, the welding on that section there is slightly different to the Sealey one. The shape of this top cover on the Sealey one comes down and goes in to there. On this one, the top cover comes down and stops at the top there. The Sealey one overhangs and goes all the way to the top there. This one is in line and finishes on that top joint slightly before it. Wheels on this Vevor one are slightly bigger with circlip, whereas the Sealey one has got the bolted arrangement there. This Vevor one has got the extra bar that passes in, whereas this one doesn't have it. We've got the extra weld on this top bar here, both sides. On the Sealey one, we don't have that. The actual gubbins inside, the piston and the ram, look absolutely identical. Well, other than this one goes to the bolts on the right hand side, and on the Sealey one, the bolts on the left hand side. Now that is a manufacturing difference, that. So there is a difference on that headstock. So we have to say that maybe they have come out of a different factory, but you know what the Chinese are like, they copy everything, don't they? We've got a different threaded bar through the front there, with, like I said, some lock washers on it, whereas this one is bolted into a internally threaded bar there. Now the back wheels, now there's a big difference, look. The back wheel on the Sealey one is considerably bigger than the back wheel on the Vevor one. Now they're both made of metal, they're both metal casters, and I would say that is the only reason. You see how this one sits slightly higher? That's the reason this one is sitting, because it's got slightly taller wheels on the back. That's why it's just sitting slightly differently. But the actual arrangement looks the same. They're both on bearings. The bearings are more visible on that one. These ones are a little bit more covered. The pistons, the springs, the bar on the back look exactly the same. This whole arrangement here is identical. Even the handles to the grip on the top is, well, it's the same grip on both. And both the little magnetic tray on the top. Now Sealey do a 2.5 ton, and I wonder if that would be identical. I'm sure there's too much similarity here for these to have come out of a different factory. I'm thinking they've got to be all made at the same. Oops, tripping over my chair. They've all got to be made at the same place. There's just too many similarities with them, and how even the holes, all this plate fits exactly the same. The jacking pads are identical, just slightly different colour. The outer frame on this looks very, it's so very similar, very similar. And the best thing about it, the Vevor one at the minute is £135. The Sealey one is £158. That's the prices at the minute, so they obviously do change a little bit, but we are talking very similar products. Now then, we've got a difference in height on the actual lift there, look. That's quite a considerable distance, that. 12.5 centimetres on that ram there. So that's the same. So the rams are exactly the same length. So I wonder if the rating is slightly different because the pump action, because of the different length of that. I wonder if this is 2.25 because it's got a slightly longer neck on it than this one. It's got a shorter neck, so it gives it that extra 0.25 of a ton. And I would say it is slightly higher on the bed than the Sealey one, which is going to be because the front wheels are slightly bigger, aren't they? So from the bed to the mat on that one, we're talking, it's just, well, it's 8.2 to the metal, and on that one it's 6.5. Wow. Yeah, you see, that's quite a bit, isn't it? So it's starting off slightly higher. Still very low though, still really low to the ground. And the height from the bed to that now, when it's fully up, this one comes in at 47 centimetres and the Sealey one is 51. What about that? Okay, weight wise, what have we got? Let's have a feel. Technical stuff first. They feel almost the same. There's not a great deal in the weight of them. Both a nice sort of weight to get in the back of the car, which is one of the reasons I wanted the Sealey jack, was it's a lot lighter than the snap-on one that we've got. Now this was a fundamental difference between the two. The Vevor has got the threaded filler cap there. The Sealey one has got this rubber bung in the top, which, as you can see, it's got a little bit of oil residue around it already. So I wonder if this is a slightly better design. Let's pop it out and just top it up with fluid. So we just screwdriver in and release it. There it is. Now the instructions say that we should be filling this to within 1/4 inch of the top. So the barrel that you can just see below, I would say we've got to be just slightly above that. And what I've got here is the Carlube jack oil. Right, then let's try this. See if we can get it in there. Okay, I think we're there. That looks like we are just 1/4 inch below the top. So let's pop the bung back in. There we go. That's that one done. So let's move that one out of the way and just have a quick look inside the Sealey one, see how easy that is to get at. So this has got this slightly different arrangement with this bung in the top. And it's not easy to get out that. Oh, it's really tight. I feel like I'm going to damage it getting it out. Oh, it's out, there it is. Flipping out. That's a bit Mickey Mouse, isn't it? So there's no thread in the top of that one at all. I much prefer the Vevor on that account there. This is really kind of, this was just like a hole being punched in the top with no thread and a little bung shoved in there. And it does look like it wants a tiny bit in there. I'm happy with that. I think we're about there on the level. Oh, it's going to be a little sinner to get back in as well. Come on, you, in you go. Oh, I don't like that. That's not nice. Oh, it's still not gone all the way down. Oh, I think we're there now. Yeah, that's in. Oh, that's horrible. I don't like that. But anyway, don't have to fill them that often, but that is a bit of a negative. Let's go and jack a car up. I think we're ready. I think it's time to jack. Let's do some jacking. First thing I notice is the Vevor jack lowers a lot slower than what the Sealey one does. It's a much more controlled downward action. The Sealey one you can really like just crack it off and it'll drop straight down. This one comes down a lot slower. We'll just do a little side by side comparison there. We'll take them both up, both on the front, lifting, and it's very similar. The action is almost identical. The Sealey one's got a little squeak on it, bless it. But you can see there, they're both very, very similar on the action. One more pump, but it seems to go that extra bit higher, doesn't it? It's a lot slower coming down than the other one. Now we've got the big heavy Volvo. We'll get the Vevor jack under it first. We'll lift it with the Vevor, and I'm going to go deep under the chassis rail, if you like. So we're going to get a lot of weight on it. Let's go for this one first, then we'll do it with the Sealey jack and just compare the two. So I'm going to go for steady, slow pulls. Okay, that's deep under. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, You can see the strain on the handle there. It's quite heavy. It's not bad. Let's lower that down. It's a very similar jack in action. I can't feel any difference in how much effort I'm putting in. So I think the rams and the pistons are all about the same. The Sealey jack definitely lowers quicker, and you have to be a little bit careful with it because you can come down at a right old rate of knots. So we'll get that down. Oh yeah, straight under the with ample of space under there. Not forgetting that this 3 Series is lowered as well. This is on the iBack Pro kit, so it is low. Beautiful. And let's do a double jack on the old bug. We'll get the Vevor under one side and we'll get the Sealey one under the other. And that's what it's all about with the 2 jacks. It makes life so much easier. One under one side, one under the other, straight up, no messing. It is a great thing to have. Right, let's do some side-by-side comparisons on these. We've got the vernier gauge here. Let's just check some thicknesses of bits and pieces. So first of all, let's just go with the handle. That's exactly the same, 32mm in diameter, no difference at all there. What about the thickness of the material, the steel that it's made of? Let's have a look at that. Let's just go for a side-on. That is 5.7. 5.2, so the Sealey is slightly thinner on the material. What about this on the leg at the back then? Let's have a quick go at that. 4.4, 4.1. So the material on the Sealey is slightly thinner. We're talking fractions though, aren't we? What about the, let's just have a quick, that's 21. That's exactly the same, So the actual, these are kind of like interchangeable parts. What about the wheels on the front? We can see they're different, but what is the difference? Let's just have a quick look. 72 on that one, and this one is 59, so about 60 millimeters. The thickness of the wheel itself, the material it's made of, how thick are we talking? 8 millimeters, 8.9 millimeters, and this one is 7.4 millimeters. So the wheels are slightly beefier, slightly thicker. The back ones are different. The back one on the Sealey, the diameter of that is considerably bigger. So that's got a 57 millimeter wheel, whereas the Vevor has got a little domed, it's a bit of a dome wheel that comes in at 43 millimeters. So that's slightly different. The top thread on this is a lot beefier. The top thread on that one is 15 millimeters. The top thread on this one is 11. So yeah, bigger wheels, thinner shaft, bigger shaft, smaller wheels. What's stronger? Who knows? It's a mystery. That bolt there looks identical, 24 millimeters, so that's the same. Can I get that in on the ram there? I can. 9.4, 9.4, exactly the same. So the piston arrangement on these If I do it from underneath like that, you could probably even see it better, how similar it is. Both got the split pin through the same. You can see on the Vevor one there, it's got this extra strut going across the front of the jack, whereas on the Sealey one, it's just got these two dropouts, but it's got the curved frame top and bottom on the side, whereas this one has only got the curve on the top. So it's to get the extra strength in the bottom, they're using the bar rather than the shape of the side panels. The handles, identical. My Cousin Vinny, what a great film. And interchangeable, yes, I mean that goes in just as good as the other one. They are exactly the same. I think we've about covered everything there. Price difference though, £135 compared to 158. You know, it's quite a bit of difference, isn't it? It's quite a bit of difference. So which one's best? Oh, well, they are both cracking jacks. They really are good jacks. If you were going to lift something slightly heavier, maybe the Vevor one has got that slightly higher lifting capacity, but to be fair, I don't think there's anything in it. I think they will both pretty much lift, you know, an identical amount. They're very similar in how they feel. Looks wise, you know, I do like the red. You get the choice of colours on this one. They do them in green and blue and pink and all sorts, whereas the Vevor one is literally just black and white. Black and white? Black. It's just black and yellow. I'm colourblind now. The pads, everything else, exactly the same. So I have to say, for me, bang for buck, I'm going to go with the Vevor. I'm going to save myself 20 quid and buy, you know, a couple of these, really. I mean, does this mean that all of those jacks that we look at on Amazon, you know, there's a massive array of them that all look identical? I think they probably are. Very, very subtle differences. But they all look like they've come straight out of the same factory. Very similar, just different badges on. These companies have bought them and just rebadged them. So, yeah, fill your boots, go and pick the cheapest one, and maybe you'll get yourself a decent buy. I have to say, though, Vevor, yeah, why not? It looks a cracking bit of kit. Looks the same as the Sealey. If you've enjoyed this little review, if you've enjoyed the comparison of the two jacks, drop me some comments. I'd love to know what you've got to say. And like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.